What's good? It's Jesse and Andrew from the Unexamined Hype podcast.
And you're watching Small Talk by Godz of Rap.
Oh, that's a beautiful Dilla vinyl you got back there.
Sure. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that donut tatted on me. I was gonna figure out where.
All right, man. So you want to go?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So tell us about yourself. How you got your name, who you are, where you're from. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Femdot. I am based out of Chicago. I'm from the north side of Chicago and Glenwood, Illinois. I've been rapping for forever. My name is a family nickname from my siblings. Yeah, man, I just be out here trying to, do good things and rap better than everybody else, for real.
So when did you get into music, and when did you realize that you're going to be good at it?
I got into my older brother used to rap, and he's a songwriter now, but he wasn't a songwriter when we were growing up. That happened like after I already established myself. But he used to rap. He was my favorite rapper. He got my whole family into music, and shit like that. So I kind of just wanted to be like him, So, and we're like 12 years apart. So our initial connection was just music. So around like 6 years old is when I wrote my first songs. And about like 10 years old, I was like passing out mixtapes in middle school, recording rock band mics and shit, and like using Audacity and Cool Edit Pro and all this other shit. So, but by like 15, 16, I was like, oh, like I'm really, I'm actually can really do this. And then again at 19, was like, all right, this is literally all I'm going to do, and everything has to revolve around this.
And you went to school at one point, right?
Yeah, I got my degree. I went to Penn State my freshman year of college, and I finished at DePaul University.
And so how important is like knowledge and education to you?
It's super important, man. Just one, like I just like to learn. I think it's cool to just learn things. I think it's cool to have options, and not even saying that you need to, not believe in whatever your plan is, but just I think the idea of being like multidimensional and having like everyone's so talented, but usually you're told to just be one way. So like learning is pretty much the easiest way for me to learn all my talents that I had, and also just to be able to run into and meet different people. So yeah, I think school, I never will force somebody to go to school. Like I'm never like, you gotta go to school, but I know if somebody's in there, I would try to keep them in there.
Okay. So being from Chicago, who are some other artists that reside there that you may have gained some inspiration from at an earlier point in your life?
Lupe.
Yeah.
Lupe. I remember the day I heard Kick Push on the radio for the first time. I remember having all the Fahrenheit mixtapes, and he had one freestyle he did on the radio where he was like, "You far from the hood like limousine trunks." I was in the 6th grade. That shit blew my mind. Obviously Kanye, because he's fucking Kanye. You know what I mean? Bump J, who's like a Chicago legend. He's like a staple here. Like Twista, Common. Yeah, it's a lot of Chicago people who just like were very influential. I mean, Keith was very influential. Me and Keith the same age, but I was in high school when Love Sosa dropped. I remember watching that video in class, not even in class, in lunch. It dropped during lunchtime. So, you can't like negate like even people who are peers or like in the same age range, like a Keith or a Chance or a Saba or Mick or No Name. I think No Name is probably bar for bar one of like the best rappers on the planet. Yeah, so her pen, like Dreezy. I remember watching Dreezy and Tink like when they first started popping. So yeah, I'm inspired by a lot of people at the crib, because if nothing else, it just showed that it's possible,
Yeah. So how has something like Lyrical Lemonade helped Chicago's music scene?
I think it's cool to have some sort, because everyone talks about how we don't have an industry. So something being that big and bringing people, in town for festivals and through, the office for interviews, and you know what I mean, they throw shows in the city, and you know, videos, kind of creating some sort of industry like thing here. I think is really cool. And the headquarters are in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? They you know, they do a lot of stuff for Chicago. So um yeah, I think that it just allows that conversation of us not having an industry to kind of shift a little bit.
Yeah, fair enough. Shout out Cole, man. He's changing a lot for this generation
Yeah,
of music.
real good dude too, man, and that makes it. He's a very genuine person, and you know, it's hard to find people like that. So
Yeah. Okay, so your album, Not for
yeah,
Sale, dropped at the beginning of November. How
hmm
important is that project to you? And can you break down some of the themes for us?
it's shit. It's super important. I mean, I think like all my projects are pretty much like checkpoints to who I become in life. So I feel like I wouldn't have gotten to this point where I am now, like not even musically, but as like a man, without like going through the things I went through that allowed me to make that project. um, and you know, just dealing with the idea of like self-worth and balance and vulnerability, and my relationships with like money, and you know, religion, and lineage, and kind of how all of these things kind of line up, and more or less like not putting a price on experience, right? Like, and understanding who I am, is who I am, and that allows me to have confidence in my abilities and what I'm able to do. So it's super important for me. It's very vulnerable. Um, I think there are records that I've done on there that I've never done before, right? So, and I think I even just sound more comfortable as an artist, like very much myself. So, it means a lot. It means a whole lot to me.
So who shot and designed the cover art? Just because I feel like people like that don't get the recognition they deserve, so I just kind
Oh
of want
God.
to shoot them out.
Yeah. So, the idea was it was shot by Adrian Octavius Walker, who's like a super fire film photographer. He shoots mostly on film, like medium format film, and he's from St. Louis, but he's based in Chicago, and that's a really good friend of mine. And that was like one of the first, like, he hasn't shot many album covers. He does a lot of like other amazing work,
Mhm.
but so that was cool to be able to work with him on that. And then we had Shane Roberts, is this guy out of he's out of like Columbus. I think he's in Detroit now, but he pretty much helped with a lot of the creative design. So us three, so pretty much I came in with the idea. We were able to shoot everything with Adrian, and then his homie Curtis Taylor Jr. as well, who like kind of was helping like um, creative direct the day of the shoot, and then Shane kind of helped a lot of my ideas of like the minimalism and stuff kind of come to life.
So I saw that you did a color studio for your
Yeah.
song "Bussin'," and I've
Mhm.
honestly just personally always wanted to know: do you pick the background color?
No, I
No.
didn't pick the
Okay, but
no.
that green did fit you though.
It
So
was perfect though. I feel like they just know. They just know.
they just know. Yeah. Okay. That's just something I've always wanted to know.
Yeah.
How
Nah,
was that? Like,
it was cool, man. It was a really cool experience just to be able, because you know that's something I wanted to check off my list for a real long time. So to be able to do it, especially at this time, it was super cool. And it was like the first time I was like on camera with my hair braided, like, you know what I'm saying?
okay.
Like I was right. It was just cool. It was a cool experience. And they're super nice and super good over there. So that was dope.
Okay. So do you have a favorite bar from the project? Yeah, it could be you or it could be one of your features. Just off top, anything.
Your favorite what?
Your favorite bar.
My favorite bar from the project? Um, it's two. So one of them was the first line of the project, because I feel like it sets the most tone, which is "You cannot buy me, I'm already free." Like, and people like we ain't got like three people who got that tatted on them or something, which is like crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, like to imagine like your shit
Yeah.
tatted on somebody. And my mama loved the line. So like my mama like a Nigerian immigrant, like, you know what I'm saying? So for her to be like, "Oh, I love this line," is like kind of crazy. Um and then I think outside of that the only other line was like I'm 40 feet tall if I stood on who I proved wrong on the song Back on Road, cuz yeah.
So you have three features on the album.
Mhm.
Can you explain who they are and why you chose them?
Absolutely. So the first feature is Alex Bennett. She is amazing. She is a superstar. Her voice is crazy. She's super cool, and I was actually put on to her through one of my homies, and we kind of just like chopped it up. and we're mutually fans of each other. And while I was working on the intro, it was missing something, and I was redoing it. It's short and sweet, but I was redoing it. We had a sample and take it. I'm like, oh, I'm missing a voice, but it's never just like, oh, let me just pick some random singer or whatever. It's like I need to hear a specific sound.
Yeah.
And then I was playing her music one day, and I'm like, I'm missing her. Like, this is what I'm missing. So I just reached out to her, and she like recorded her vocals and everything. And then we met while we were mixing. That was the first time we met in person. But yeah, she was super dope. So that's why I just really believe in what she got going on. She's just super fire. And then The Mind is like, so The Mind has technically been on like every Chicago classic album that has come out in the past, like from Ballin' Like I'm Kobe to Acid Rap to he was on Live on Ice for Toby's, he was on all of No Names projects, Mick Jagger, anything The Mind has his hands on it. And when we were doing the song Digits, the last part, I wrote a version and sung it. And me and him are pretty good friends, like really good friends. So I was writing it. I'm like, I'm writing like you. Like I literally told him like, so I kind of wrote this like you. Can you just like take this idea that I have at the end, write it like you, and then sing it better than me? And that's exactly what he did. So that's how that happened. And then the third feature is Goose. He's actually from Florida, and I met him through like a writing camp we did right before the pandemic. And he also produced like 2 songs on the project. But he has like a crazy voice. He produced the song that he was on and the outro. Yeah, he just super talented as well. So I wanted to like one shine light on him, but also like the music good. Like it just made sense, you know.
I see you're headlining a show in January. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm headlining the show. This is my first time headlining the show in Chicago since 2018. Yeah, thank you. Like 2019, I was on tour the whole year, so I couldn't really headline. And then 2020, I was supposed to do like the Pitchfork Music Festival and stuff like that. And, you know, obviously the world, right, stopped. So yeah, this will be my first time headlining in a long time. So I'm very excited for that, to be able to perform everything in full. Alex is actually going to be opening for me as well, along with other artists, Ohana Bam, who's super dope. So yeah, I'm super excited to be back on stage, like at home, you know?
Yeah. Is there anywhere else you'd like to tour that you haven't been yet?
I mean, like last time we toured, we pretty much went around the country, but I want to go everywhere again. So I'm just trying to get back on the road, to just get back on road and just be back, you know, moving around. I feel like I really thrive in touring situations. I'm really good at like being on the move, and I just pride myself in my performance. So literally everywhere. I'm trying to go everywhere. Overseas for sure though. Like I'm definitely trying to perform in Europe somewhere.
Yeah. That's the move for sure, man. So are there any other artists you'd like to work with in the future?
I think me and Chris Patrick supposed to, we got to get one in.
Yes.
We got to get one in. He was actually in town too, but I was gone. We got to get one in. Like I think Kenny Mason's super dope. I think Paris, Texas is super dope. I think Redville, he's super fire. I want to work. I just got put on a little while ago to this woman named Wynn. She out of like she's out of like Portland. She's super hard. So like just people like in that range, I think they'll be cool. But like ideal stuff would be like obviously like Kendrick or like Nas or Jay-Z. But I really, really, really want to work with Missy Elliott, like really, 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 really bad.
Okay, I'd like to see that happen.
Yeah, that's like my favorite. She's like one of my favorite, like just people like in the music industry. Like she just, her and Jasmine Sullivan are probably two of some people I like I would probably get starstruck seeing.
So are you currently working on any other projects, or are you just kind of more focusing on touring?
I mean, I'm always kind of cooking and creating more music and stuff, but you know, we still pushing this, it's still fresh and stuff, but I was sitting on just so much music. I'm very like meticulous. I'm like crafting out like projects. I want them to really feel and sit away, but I am also sitting on hella music, so I'm trying to find a middle ground between that right now.
What's something you'd like to accomplish outside of music?
Outside of music, I mean the most immediate thing is retiring my mother. Like I want to retire her so she don't gotta work. But I also run a nonprofit in Chicago, so I want that to just continue to like function by itself and just continue to grow. Those are probably two biggest
Yeah.
things.
What can you tell us about Femme de la Creme?
Femme de la Creme, it's a nickname that was given to me. Like my homie started calling me that shit in like eighth grade. Cause once you got a nickname, people try to find variations of it and shit.
Yeah.
She started calling to me like in the hallway in eighth grade, and then this one girl called and said it one time like in high school, and we kind of just ran with it. Cause like it's like taken from like creme de la creme, like being the best of the best.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what it ended up being, and then it's since taken a life of its own. Like we've dropped De La Creme projects and Femme De La Creme projects, and my music group is De La Creme Music Group, and my nonprofit is De La Creme Scholars. So it's kind of taken a world of its own, and I think it's cool that like people attach like a phrase like De La Creme to me. So I think that's pretty fire.
So why should we as listeners tune into you, Femdot?
I think because at the end of the day, my music is very authentic, right? And I think it shines through. I think the stories that I tell and how I tell them allow for a lot of people to relate to what I have going on. And that's something that everyone doesn't have the ability to do. So yeah, I think if nothing else, people know that I believe in what I'm saying, and like I feel what I'm saying, and I'm growing as a person through this music, and hopefully other people can too.
So that's it, man. That's all I got for you.
Oh man, no, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it too. I just want to make sure everyone go check out Not For Sale by Femdot on all streaming platforms right now. You won't regret it. It's a great project, one of the best in 2021 for sure. I want to thank you for doing this. I also want to give a shout out to Elliot over at Lyrical Lemonade for making this happen. And I'll let you have the last words, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you. Thank you, man. Godz Rap, I appreciate you for having me out and saying my little piece. You know what I mean? This is really cool. Hopefully this is something that people can, as we continue to blow up, people can go and look back and look at this a couple of years later. So, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Stay safe out there, man.
Yeah, man. You too.
Yeah. Peace out.
Peace.
All right, put God on the phone. We need the check.